when you're in the ring against somebody, you're not wasting your time. You're working. This is what you're getting paid for. This is what you're supposed to be doing. And you and your opponent are supposed to be putting on the best performance you can do. So to me, it's a comment that I don't take very fondly, that he would say something like that.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Sportskeeda's The Wrestling Time Machine. I'm your host, Mac Davis. That is Bill Apter. And along with him is Peanut, Mr. Teddy Long. And of course,
no, if you're going to say it right. Peanut Head. That's what
Peanut
it is.
Head.
Peanut.
Or Bubbles. I found that out last week. Look, guys, if you have never stopped by Road Trip After Hours and checked out our show, during that show, I learned something about Teddy I have never known, and that he had a special nickname, which was Bubbles. You'll have to go and watch the show. It's on YouTube under Road Trip After
Teddy,
Hours.
you were a stripper?
Somewhat. I took some of it off. I didn't take it all off.
You call him Peanut Head. I am, as you know, a Tic Tac head.
No, you're a Tic Crack head.
Tic Crack head, right.
Tic Crack head, yeah. At a recent AEW press conference, Bobby Lashley had replied to a Fightful reporter who asked about, quote, black champions. And he said he doesn't like the term, meaning Bobby Lashley said he just didn't like the term during the press conference. He said, quote, I don't like that. I don't like the black champion. It's just a champion. See, we normalized this already, end quote. And basically, the girl who asked that question for Fightful, she caught a lot of hell for asking that particular question. Bill, what were your thoughts?
That bothered me since the days when Ron Simmons became the quote-unquote first black man to win the WCW World Championship. It should have been Ron Simmons is the WCW World Champion. Not what color he is, not what religion he is, not what creed he is, but he is a champion. To me, a champion is colorless.
You think you know all the wrestling stories? There's more you haven't heard yet. Join us on Backstage Pass.
Teddy, your thoughts?
Well, my thing on this, you don't have to say he's black. They can look at him. They see he's black. Okay, that's number one. But it's just a term that from the old school days, man. I've been hearing that ever since I broke into this business. Whenever some black people were crowned champions, Doom, they did the same thing with us, the first black world tag team champion. Wow. So, like I said, that was just the way it was, and it just didn't bother me.
Isn't that a little bit different, though? Because, we're in times, today's day and age, saying, that, he's a black champion makes no sense. But you really are the first, though. Doesn't that matter?
But not to interrupt you, like I always say about AEW, there's a couple of people there that know better, that were back in the day when they were saying we were the first black this, the first black that. So they could stop that. It was just that simple.
Yeah, and I want to bring this up too. I'm glad you said that, Teddy, because and I'm not trying to give an excuse for this reporter for asking the question, but AEW did have Swerve Strickland as their champion, who used that platform as being the first black AEW champion. And that was, in their storylines as they were going on air. So that question may have been kind of fueled from that, coming out of Swerve going into the Hurt business. I still don't think it's an appropriate question anymore to ask, but go ahead, Teddy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What is the problem of this is the first black AEW tag team champion? What does that mean? Why is just, hey, we have a brand new champion and if Swerve Strickland or whatever his name is, AEW has a brand new world champion.
While we're at it, I want to say that Swerve Strickland against Bobby Lashley, Swerve, doesn't matter what color they were, Swerve got the crap kicked out of him. Somehow AEW has to find a way to put the world championship on Bobby Lashley. Jon Moxley is a street guy, great worker, very tough and all that. But if you want a champion that looks great in a suit, not wearing bummy clothing like Moxley, casual clothing, not bummy. You want somebody that you could send to a sports banquet who looks good. You want somebody who, when they come to the ring, looks the part of a world heavyweight champion. Again, color has nothing to do with it. It's Bobby Lashley.
I believe that the one thing that AEW needs to do, and they need to do quickly, is they need to put those two factions up against one another, because the real war are between those two groups, the Hurt Business and into
Moxley's people,
Moxley's group.
But they're not going that way.
And that's a shame. And the pay-per-view, I did get to see some of the pay-per-view. I saw bits and pieces because, quite frankly, I got irritated with it when I saw the big boom AJ and
that was Steve
Marshall.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are guys, I don't even know who they are. I have never heard of Big Boom.
They're social media stars. But Mac, Kyle Fletcher, and Will Ospreay put on one of the best matches of the year.
It was I thought also there was one other match. Teddy, I'm sorry. I will say this. There was one other match that I thought was really good. And it's the first match in AEW where Mercedes Moné had a good showing. I thought her and Chris Statlander had a knockout match. That's the kind of match I expect from Mercedes Moné. So when we give her a little bit of hell from time to time about the matches and how they look a little wonky, it's not to put her down. It's because we know she's capable of doing what she just did on this last pay-per-view, which was give the fans their money's worth.
But just to revert back for 1 minute, if anyone here from AEW is watching this, the people that make the decisions, you've got somebody that you can't blow this with. Bobby Lashley is World Heavyweight Championship material. Don't blow it.
Teddy, based on previous experience, do you expect them to not blow it, or do you expect everything just to end up like it always has?
I expect them to blow it.
I do too.
Isn't that a shame?
Yeah, it really is. It really is. It's a shame.
And I think that's part of their problem too. When you see their ratings and the ratings are going down, a lot of that's because even your interested fans, the fans who have been devoted to you since you first got there, they're not buying this product anymore, and it's got to change. And
it's because they're not giving the fans what they want. They're giving the people what they want them to see.
And I'm sorry, Bill, I know you interviewed
Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, he's interesting to watch in the ring and stuff, but it is very difficult for somebody. And again, I know this is entertainment, but it's still really hard for me when I see a guy put his hands in his pockets and wrestle against a monster to think that he's actually going to do anything. It's very difficult.
They don't stamp it as entertainment. They stamp it as pro wrestling.
Well,
WWE is very obvious where they'll call it pro wrestling / sports entertainment. And, I did question Orange Cassidy about that, and you fans can find that on WrestleBinge, the YouTube channel by Sportskeeda. And I did question him about it. And a lot of people, he got a lot of bad reaction from the 75 comments on the interview that they liked the interview, but he doesn't come across like what they want to see in a wrestler.
Yeah, he's so low-key. Teddy, do you know who Orange Cassidy is?
No, I don't.
I'll have to send you a video of one of his matches because he's a guy.
I've seen him, and I think I met him on one of those signings or somewhere I was on. I met him there, but of course, knowing him, I don't really know him.
Now, I asked him about his body. He doesn't have a body that looks like a wrestler, and he said there's nothing he can change about his body, and he's not going to change anything about it. He's a wrestler, and that's his body. Period.
Well,
the end.
I don't blame him. Just be the man you are, the very best you are. That's all you got to do.
Let's see. CM Punk recently commented to Peter Rosenberg. I don't know if you guys heard this, that he wasted some of his matches on people in AEW. Now, when he says wasted, meaning he helped put over guys who probably weren't, deserving of him putting them over. And also he has a bump card. There's only so many matches he's got left in him, and he's giving them away to people who didn't really, shouldn't have been in the ring with him. And that made me think, who has he been in the ring with, and who could he have been talking about? Now, some of those names include Darby Allin, Powerhouse Hobbs, Daniel Garcia, Eddie Kingston, Wardlow, Shawn Spears, MJF, John Moxley, Adam Page, Ricky Starks, Samoa Joe, and a handful of others. But
the
those
whole
are the
roster.
main names. Yeah, I mean, first of all, I didn't realize that he had wrestled that many people in that amount of time, because it felt like he was gone more than he was there. But I'm trying to think in there, who do you think he may have been wasting time with, Bill?
First of all, I'm surprised he even said that. When you're in the ring against somebody, you're not wasting your time. You're working. This is what you're getting paid for. This is what you're supposed to be doing. And you and your opponent are supposed to be putting on the best performance you can do. So to me, it's a comment that I don't take very fondly, that he would say something like that. CM Punk is a pro, but just like the pipe bomb that he dropped many years ago on WWE, sometimes his wording is out of place.
Teddy, your thoughts?
Well, I don't think he should say things like that. I think anybody that you step into the ring with, if they're not polished, then your job is to help polish them.
Sure.
So anybody that stepped in there with him, if they're slacking, then he knows to go to them and talk to them and say, hey, come on, man, you got to step it up, or here's what we need to do. But then there are some guys that you can't talk to. They don't want to hear it. They already think they know it all. But one of the names he had in there is MJF. I have to pull that out. You ain't going to waste no time with MJF.
No, and I doubt that he was. Yeah, and I agree. I don't think he was talking about MJF by any means.
Or Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe.
Yeah,
no.
Exactly. Another guy. You ain't wasting no time with Samoa Joe.
I'm sure that he probably is talking about maybe an Adam Page, who he had issues with there for not working with him in the ring and trying to shoot on him in the ring. So that would be a name that I'd probably throw in there. I seriously doubt that Ricky Starks would have been one of those people.
No.
Because Ricky Starks is also another guy that it really is very good and very polite and will do business when business needs to be done. But anybody else, maybe Eddie Kingston. I thought they were friends, though. Are they, Bill?
I did too, and Eddie's kind of disappeared. From AEW currently, but no, I don't think. Again, I'm going to stand staunch on this. That when you're in the ring against somebody, you're not wasting your time. You're helping you, and you're helping them. That's the way I look at it.
What I was taught back in the day, when you stepped into the ring, you went to school. That means if it was a match at WrestleMania, you're still going to school. You're in there to learn.
Yeah, and when you get into the ring and you're working with someone, I don't care if you like them or not. I've been in the ring with many people I did not care for. I mean, the second we left that ring, I could care less if they got hit by a car. But when they're in the ring, it's time to do business, and I expect to be able to take care of them, and I expect them to be able to take care of me. And,
like I said, there were a lot of people there that I worked with that I wouldn't go home and have dinner with.
Oh, yeah. You wouldn't leave your wife in the same room with them, would you?
No.
Even if you have a day job, oh God, I wasted my time working with that assistant they gave me. Really? Come on.